People who have been extras on a porn shoot. What's your story? NSFW. My dad is an actor and one of his first jobs was being the main non-sexual role in a porno, where he basically visited his high school graduation class crushes and was there to look at them having sex with other dudes. It's ducking hilarious. He basically said he got paid like $500 for the day, back in the 80s, and was just improvising the entire time. There's a scene where he smiles at the camera while peeking through his roommate's door, and the last scene is him half talking half crying to his roommate while he and another chick are going at it hard. The porno itself is absolute tea. He was definitely the highlight. Can't remember the name though. Found it on Hamster. Wait, is your dad crying and talking while ducking or is the roommate the one ducking? The roommate in the scenario was the one ducking. My dad didn't partake in any of the sexual acts. Can you imagine that? And that, son, is how you were made. Did you actually watch your dad's porno? The porno itself is absolute tea. He was definitely the highlight. I'll say that he did, and his dad was the best part. He already said he did and that his dad didn't have sex. He was just the guy who walked in on other people having sex. Imagine beating off to that porno just for the camera to cut to your dad's face as he smiles and peeks into a door. And his dad is on the other side of the door smiling and peeking. There's a story on Reddit somewhere about one kid showing a porno to his friend. Turns out it was friend's mom doing a creepy shoot and the friend shared a striking resemblance to the male star Reddit. For the lucky 10,000. https www.reddit.com/4chan comments/1bmtz8/Alan plays a joke on his friend. Apparently this was a green text from 4chan a while back. Obviously NSFW. Possibly fake troll, but still amusing. You gotta find it, man. That sounds amazing. Damn, I need to see that. Removed. I like how the people calling him automatically admitted to watching late night erotic TV. Right, like why are they mad? Her husband must be like, Bob, I wanna be on that too. So, Bob, how things going in the video store? Are you hiring or something? Just checking, no reason in particular. It's for a friend. You don't know him. He's from Canada. They must have just been curious enough to watch previews though. Had they actually watched the whole thing they'd know he wasn't in it. That's something that always boggled my mind. You see your boss in a fetish movie and you can't even really bribe him without implying that you watch that kinda stuff. Bribe him, hol up. That's amazing. This is my favorite one. It's so innocent but so funny. I was an extra in scores of adult videos for one of the bigger websites. Here is how. A buddy of mine was super into porn. Not just watching, but fanboyed the girls. Liked to go to conventions. I always found the conventions awkward myself. He asked me to go with him one year, so I did. We stopped at a booth. He wanted to get some autographs. I didn't care to, so he jumped in line and I hung back behind the crowd. I stuck up a conversation with some English dude. He was super cool. Quickly discovered he was a popular male talent. I asked him, hey, you know, in like a classroom scene there are students who start in the class, but leave when the sex starts. How does one get to be those guys? Oh dude, we always need extras. Hey, we are having a barbecue on Saturday. If you want to come you should text me, I take his number. Tell my buddy about it when he comes back and he freaks out. He wants to go. I text Kieran. He gives me the details. Huge mansion in the Hollywood Hills. We park. Knock on the door. Some random dude with a shaved head answers. You the guys Kieran invited up? Yeah, cool, come on in. The guy was the cameraman. He had us sign some waivers and filmed us saying our names, that we were not under the influence, and we were done 18 while holding our IDs up. Quickly realized this was no normal barbecue. That was just the setting for the scene. The crew, 3 people, Kieran and the starlet, were all super cool people. Very nice. didn't mind any of our questions and were super welcoming. Their crew was 3 people, a director, a set builder, and a cameraman. The starlet was there and Kieran, a married porn couple, was also there just hanging out. Weren't in the scene at all. We had no lines. We were just supposed to pretend we were talking with Kieran, and give some OMG looks at the beautiful girl in the bikini outside. Things like this. We were there a few hours. At one point I was told if I was thirsty to help myself to Cokes in the pantry. I opened it up, and it was wall-to-wall condoms, home enema kits, and roll after roll of paper towels. On the floor was one 12-pack under a box of plastic gloves. Was super interesting. Eventually they had the shots they needed from us extras, and were going to get to the action. We were given $100 checks, and were thanked for our time. The director liked us and asked if we'd like to do it again, flat $100 per day. We said yes, and he told us his assistant would be in contact whenever we were needed. I did scores of scenes, and got a lot of my friends extra work too. I was football players, a married guy whose wife cheats on him, did that several times, a club goer, a Survivor-like contestant, a wedding guest, a point pong player at a party, and time of other things. It was a lot of fun, meet a lot of really cool people, and got some great stories. The crew and most porn stars I met were all super nice, relaxed people. Was definitely an interesting time. English dude. First thought was Kieran. That's pretty neat. Just googled Kieran Lee. First thing pops up about how he has a $1 million insurance on his penis, lol. My buddy used to be a camera guy and his wife the makeup artist on adult films in Chatsworth, CA. They invited me to come visit. I didn't know this meant I'd be in a scene. It was called Frat House Fuckfest and I'm the guy yelling fuck her face over and over again while eating barbecue chicken. I look forward to your Oscar nomination. I think I found him. https://www.youtube.com/watch?d3doot0b-rq. No, there is no BBQ chicken. Different porn set. Easy mistake to make, but this is actually Frat House Fuckfest 3. You really need to watch the first 2 to get it though. Just breasts and thighs. Fuck me, I'm dying laughing at that. Our risky click of the day. You made my day with this comment. In the DVD extras, the director talks about how our used sex toys for sale improved the line. He apparently wasn't supposed to have any lines. Thank you for your service. How was that chicken? Fucking raw. Where's the lamb sauce? It's fucking raw, you donkey. You made me laugh out loud on a train in England. I'm going to be banished from my homeland now. I hope you are happy with yourself. This might be my favorite answer in the entire thread. The barbecue chicken just puts it over the top. Coming from a fellow Redditor, the barbecue chicken is what makes it the most believable. I'm just imagining you yelling that out with chicken in your mouth and like spraying chicken fat and skin out of your face while you scream it like a madman. I bet he's also the scooter rag on a stick guy. Cyan Zips. Username pretty much checks out. A few years ago I came across a video of a guy ducking a hot lesbian girl who wanted to get cream peed while her girlfriend wife watched and caressed her. Hot. At the end of the video, literally out of nowhere, this old Mr. Rogers looking methodica comes and says something like, "Oh, isn't it nice? I'm glad we got to watch that. Anyway, comma, while gleefully rubbing his hands. Funniest ducking thing." Sounds really funny. Mind finding that video again? Just for the laughs, of course. Well, you're in luck. I looked for it earlier and found it. https://www.yaporn.com/watch lesbian-duck-queen-lu-charmel-wife-cadence-helps-wife-get-creampede/NSFW of course. Skip to the end. Or don't. Not your dad. The duck was that guy ducking a hot lesbian girl. Something tells me she wasn't actually a lesbian. Sauce. Barbecue. Yelling at the poor guy to duck her mouth and he's trying so hard just to keep his semi. Source. https://www.yelges.com/videos/frat-house-duck-fest-3687281.html. Did you get to directing credit? One of the best answers in this thread tbh. Legendary. I used to DJ at a duck club, swingers bar, or whatever you call them in your area. Not quite the same, but you just stop noticing the naked after a short while. LCD's sound system has an interview floating out there about the time they got booked into a European sex club. TLDR is they got drunk during the gig, vomited off the back of the stage and overall played like crap. No one cared because sex. Was Daft Punk there? At my house. My house. Our house. In the middle of our street. https://youtube/3nxvxvf0xjo. I think you might be overestimating the amount of areas with duck clubs. All I know is that Post Falls, Idaho has a swing club, and if Post Ducking Falls has one, then any place can have one. I like the all I know with your comment. I'm imagining you having this vast well of knowledge specifically relating to Post Falls, Idaho, having a swinger club, but nothing else. OP wakes up in hospital. Police officer, what is the last thing you remember? So OP, all I know is that Post Falls, Idaho has a swing club, and if Post Ducking Falls has one, then any place can have one. Police officer, call us if you can't think of anything else. You've been very helpful. Colelander, Monsieur Lapadite, are you aware of the name the people of France have given me? Farmer, I have no interest in such things, Colelander. But you are aware of what they call me? Farmer, I am aware, Colelander. What are you aware of? Farmer, all I know is that Post Falls, Idaho has a swing club, and if Post Ducking Falls has one, then any place can have one. Brian, concentrate. Shout out everything you see about them. Hair color, eye color, tall, short, scars, anything you see. You understand? They're there. I can hear them. Remember, concentrate. Put the phone closer so I can hear. Kim, they're leaving. I think they're beard, 6 feet, tattoo right hand, moon and star. Brian, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. All I know is that Post Falls, Idaho has a swing club, and if Post Ducking Falls has one, then any place can have one. Morpheus. Hello, Neo. Do you know who this is? Neo. Morpheus? Morpheus. Yes, I've been looking for you, Neo. I don't know if you're ready to see what I want to show you, but unfortunately you and I have run out of time. They're coming for you, Neo, and I don't know what they're going to do. All I know is that Post Falls, Idaho has a swing club, and if Post Ducking Falls has one, then any place can have one. I'm so happy you pointed this out. I just had to try and explain all this to my GF, who asked what the hell I just burst out laughing about. Fucking weird. I am in CDA and have never seen Post Falls mentioned ever on the internet. OFC, it's something to do with swingers. Is there a list of these clubs organized by area by any chance? Just so I can avoid them. Would hate to accidentally stumble into one. I want to get booked as a DJ so I can stop noticing the naked and free my mind. Assuming that you are a single dude, you really don't have to worry about avoiding them. They don't want you. And the ones that do want you to pay a huge admission fee and give you a long list of strict rules and guidelines to follow, from what I can tell anyway. Just Google Lifestyle Club, but honestly they are probably not what you're hoping for. Most people who go in public naked aren't the ones you wanted to see naked. Can confirm. Went to a fetish dungeon once. Saw a guy in his 60s tied spread eagle to the wall with his testicles hooked to a car battery. Yes, on swingers websites. Pro tip, if you're some fat average single dude looking for easy sex, guess what? They want to have sex with you as little as the normal people. FetLife probably has one. Make a fake account and check your city's forum on there. It's crazy what you see. I found girls I knew from high school who are now into some crazy shit. They are out there. It's just one of those if you aren't actively looking you'll never find it type of things. I've been to a swingers party before, and you stop noticing the nudity in like 5 minutes because nobody's attractive or worth looking at in the first place. I'm in a burlesque troupe and can really relate to just stopping noticing the naked. It's so odd how completely normal I feel having a conversation with someone while they're putting on pasties and how insignificant it feels to watch people strip. Weird realization. Actually me. Friend worked for a major company whose logo you will see on memes. Got invited to be an extra and did so several times. Got paid a flat rate of $100 shoot. Some would last longer. Parodies involving costumes makeup such as zombie. Others would last just a couple hours. Often played the BF who got cheated on. Talent was always super friendly and nice. No terrible stories. Sometimes a lot of waiting around while they shot the sex scenes. Sometimes they would cast just to focus on female talent. Saw male talent outside studio doing what he could to maintain stiffness. Some talent and extras would be using stimulants but nothing terrible drug-wise. It was a job for everyone. Pretty professional and fun. They would often buy lunch for everyone on longer shoots. Easy cash and fun times. Female talent would be overly flirty. Did a zombie parody in Star Wars 1 amongst other shoots where my girlfriend had sex with a teacher to get out of failing grades for both of us, or she had sex through's glory hole in a changing room whilst I waited outside. Probably not as exciting an answer as hoped, but if there are any specific questions I'd be happy to answer. Edit. Couple things coming up. When I said girlfriend I mean it in the context of the story of the porn we were shooting. Not my actual girlfriend, but wouldn't have been opposed to dating one either. I had a girlfriend at the time that was not cheating on me. One thing of note that's kind of funny to mention is when they're shooting sex scenes there are usually a lot of cuts and actions. It's amazing how in the middle of sex they can stop or start and the female talent can turn off and on. The pleasure sounds like it's nothing. From completely silent to sounding like she's having the biggest orgasm of her life in 1 second flat. That's quality acting. What is with the obsession of getting cheated on? I would never be able to watch videos like that because the thought of it just makes me sad uncomfortable. In my completely unqualified opinion, I'm pretty sure it's used to jazz up the scene. Same with how porn is filled with a bunch of stepsister mom videos. Most of the time costs literally nothing additional to add that bit and now it's got a story other than two people duck. Yeah, not everyone has the budget for the pizza box with a hole in it. I've always viewed it as a fantasy for viewers to get that unavailable girl they fantasize about. While there's an argument to be made for the rise of popularity in cheating duck holding swinging, the basic reason is that the genre is the lowest hanging fruit. It's very easy to horn a cheating plot into a 4-minute script, and it appeals to a lot of people on a basic level. To those it doesn't appeal to, it's easily ignored with basically no consequences or detractors from the rest of the video. Plus it lets you pick your poison. You can picture yourself as the sub, victim of adultery, or perpetrator of adultery, in the scene. 90% of a porn script is the title. The same video can be basically any scenario with a simple title change. Yeah, the same goes for the stepbro incest stuff. Behold the next generation of porn, the cheating stepbro sis. How about older married brother, teacher, punishes his younger sister, student, for bad grades so she ducks him to pass the class. Let's make her a cheerleader whilst we are at it. It's got everything. Incest, cheating, teacher ex-student, cheerleader. This used to be a thing, I believe. Can come at it from either side. Just pretend you're the hot guy she's cheating with. You're so hot and irresistible she can't say no. It's one of the more common fantasies that is generally terrible to put into practice. As such, there is a captive market with little outlet for their fantasy, so a high demand leading to a large supply. Trust me, if there are two things I know, it's porn and capitalism. Only reason I enjoy them is the camera. Most real amateur movies feature a fixed camera view. That usually is pretty shitty. Amateur duckholes hold a camera at least. How do I get into this business? I wanna get free food for acting clueless, lol. Did a lot of Reddit browsing on phone, and when content ran out spent time reading books. Gotta know the right peeps. I know you through Reddit now. When do I start? Go to that one place on the corner near the tree and I'll pick you up in a car tomorrow. Don't leave, I'll be there. Plot twist, they both actually showed up, and X200B, now Yuji name is a porn actor. I wanna get free food for acting clueless, lol. Go visit my grandmother and listen to her talk about whatever it is she goes on about. Can I just say thank you to contributing to the fantasy? I like context. I appreciate y'all. I can answer this. I had a roommate in college who was a bartender. One night when I was about to start studying for midterms, I got a call asking if I wanted to come watch a porn. Bartender roommate said they're doing some porn shoot for Kin. https://kink.com/K for public disgrace, and need people to just stand around in the background. There's free booze, so obviously me and the other roommate go. Now, I was unaware what kink was, but the site has niches, to put it lightly, and public disgrace is what it sounds like. Girl shows up, gets ducked in public, with some bondage aspects. We arrive, and I decide not to drink, because I have midterm test the next day, and the director told us so. Y'all can grab her, but can't insert anything, and if you want to masturbate, that's fine, but keep it off the actress. Only tested actors can insert, or get anything on her. They start setting up, and this short chubby bald dude comes up to us and says, "So, UHH. How did you guys hear about this?" And we explained. Our roommate told us, and he said, "Oh, that's sweet, you see this stuff all the time. I found out about it on Craigslist. Figured it was worth a shot to try and come out." This dude proceeds to get super drunk, and very creepy. He very willingly engages in the "if you want to masturbate go ahead" offer, but takes it too far. When they're in between shots, and the actress is just sitting in a robe, he's still going, staring at her. Fat guy hanging out, sweaty. During one scene she yells, "Stop, that guy just came on me." Fat dude looks down super sad, and they tell him he's gotta go, and he apologizes. I almost felt sorry for him because he looked so pathetic, and I remembered he just ejaculated on a total stranger. The rest of the shoot was uneventful. I made it into the trailer just looking bored in the background, so that's pretty funny. I started a slow clap after the finale, but they edited to everyone just applauding. Slow clap would have been funnier. Fat dude looks down super sad. I mean, there's post-nut depression, and then there's whatever this is. Post-assault anguish. Me, after my night's pity wank. I think you were on the same shot as someone else on the comments. Describe the same scene and situation with the model. I have a feeling that this isn't uncommon at porn shots where they invite people to watch through Craigslist. Frank Reynolds gets everywhere. So anyway, I started blasting. As someone who knows this niche site you speak of and has always been curious how they managed such a shoot, thank you for posting. It all makes sense now. I was assured it wasn't a porn, just an erotic film, by the guy who introduced me to the project, but a few things tipped me off. Every other actor there was a porn actor. We had an alibi if the owner asked us what we were shooting. The title was a sexy riff on a well-known TV show. The director had exclusively directed porn for 40 years. Saw them shooting a scene where a dude was actively jerking off to a naked woman dancing. I just played a cop and never had to drop trow. Highest paid acting gig I'd ever gotten up to that point in my life. When they asked me what I wanted to credit myself as, I realized I couldn't put my name on it, so I chose my friend's name, to whom I owed some mild revenge. It's still on his IMDb profile. Sorry, Mike. Dirty Mike and the Boys. Thanks for the F-Shack. You turned my beautiful Prius into a nightmare. You know what it's called when a bunch of homeless dudes get together like that? It's called a soup kitchen. Also, a mama raccoon had some babies in there. I had my first desk pop. I can't believe you thought that was a real thing. We are gonna have sex in your car. It will happen again. You gotta let the pedok fly. What was the TV show? SMASH. How I Fucked Your Mother. The Big Bang Theory. Whose DCK is it anyway? Everybody Fucks Raymond. Brooklyn 69. The Cosby Show. Survivor. Third Cock from the Sun. Malcolm in the Middle. Modern Family. Wank of Fortune. The Gang Bang Theory. 2.5 Inch. Breaking Bad. Game of Moans. NYPD Blue Balls. Brooklyn 69. Broken Arms Collector's Edition. The Orifice. Game of Boners. That 69th Show. Breaking Bad. Two Broke Girls Who Duck for Cash. Step Family Guy. Close, it was TWAT. Ah, yes. The Ted Mosby, a classic. Actually, the guy really who saved you was Lance Hardwood. Lance Hardwood, Sex Architect, starring Ted Mosby. Alright, this is my favorite. There's no way Mike could top that. Sorry Mike, the world needs to know the kind of duck sucker you really are. We need to see the weirdness that is this erotic film. How do you passively jerk off? I was an extra for a Public Disgrace and an upper floor shoot for kink.com. It was super cool. For Public Disgrace they had an open bar, but if you chose not to drink you could actually play with the model during a couple parts of the shoot. This one chick jumped in at the first opportunity and just went to town finger banging the model. LOL. The upper floor shoot was basically a fancy sex party with a porn being shot in the background. They had an open bar, delicious appetizers, sex toys and furniture to use. In the outside halls they had giant oil paintings of crazy kink shoots placed in golden ornate frames. It was the most posh sexy thing I've ever done. Basically a fancy sex party with an open bar, delicious appetizers, sex toys and furniture to use. Wait, so did you have to supply your own partner? I guess a perfect world doesn't exist, sigh. TFW, no government supplied sex partner. I've been endlessly searching with no avail on local fetish non-vanilla events. Nothing. Ugh. Step 1. Move to San Francisco. Step 2. Move to a cheaper city in the Bay. Have you checked FedLife? We had to drive a bit to find one, but also we wanted to avoid anyone we might run into day to day, but met some great people and got introduced to some other venues. Can't say how often it works out this way, but we happened to pick one that was BDSM friendly and it was a life-changing experience. Made some lifelong friends even though we aren't really in the scene anymore. Upper Floor is probably one of my all-time favorite productions. Public Disgrace was always a bit hit and miss. For me it all depended on the reaction of any female extras. My time to shine. A few years back I was offered a role in a porn and as I was excited about the offer I accepted. It was standard uninterested husband horny wife plot. I stayed under the covers and pretended to be asleep while ass got smashed around me. But was the bed comfy though? Like some real memory foam level shitty? I don't think they want to invest too much in a porn mattress. You don't want the foam to memorize that. That memory foam drinks to forget. It drinks quite a load. I'm sure it had lots of liquids to choose from. The foam now has PTSD. The foam is now finally sharing its story in the documentary After Porn Ends. PSTD. Plenty of STDs. All the smell with none of the fun. Careful, there was an Arnolep story based on that exact concept a while back. Knowing Reddit, that's enough information for someone to post a clip within 20 minutes or so. Did you laugh? Oh god, I couldn't imagine myself not letting out a little laugh whilst my body was being rocked to the rhythm of people boning. Did you get an erection during the shoot? I signed up for a porn shoot, thinking I would get to duck some Lena Paul kinda girl. Turned out that I was the boyfriend the girl cheated on. It was the kind of porno where I'm across the table and she's hiding underneath and sucking his DCK. I could see everything but I wasn't allowed to get hard cause it would ruin the shot. How much did Enforced Flaccidity pay, and did you decide to continue in the industry? It was a couple years ago so I only remember it wasn't that much but it was okay. But it was also an amateur shoot, not a big company, so it's not like I would have made much money anyway. I only did it since I was broke and probably drunk so I don't think I will be starting a career as a duck anytime soon. Enforced Flaccidity, that should be a band's name. Would that be heavy metal or cringe high school punk? Soft rock. Apparently they were shooting something on the balcony at Tricot House in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. I was in the background as I was next door doing work for Nola Live. Hosh T, they making a porno. It wasn't a porn shoot, but I had to work at a small room with a giant glass front and there was literally no way for me to go away or do something else. So when people started filming in the next building over I noticed them. They noticed me, stopped the recording and went all "what are you doing there" with their expressions. I literally couldn't go away, but also, how entitled do you have to be that you think the whole area you're filming in will suddenly evacuate just so nobody is in your background? I don't have a permit to film, but bird law says I can tell anyone I want to get out of my frame. It was by accident. There was this website on Bangladesh 10 years ago called Fuckteam5 where they filmed average guys banging porn stars. I was at the checkout line at a liquor store and they staged a couple of random guys next to me and 3 porn stars walked in to seduce them. It wasn't until years later that my friend discovered me and sent me a link to the video. The camera guy never asked me for permission to be on film so I guess I could have sued. Fuckteam5 3 porn stars. Well, I feel cheated. Just make a post in Artapafmipness, they might help you out there. There's a sub, to find a porno, if you saw it and can't remember the name. Humans really are crazy. It's pretty accurate too, I have definitely never used it. I also have definitely not used it dozens of times from my porn account. So if Steamy Executioner I sent your porn account, I can only imagine what name you'd pick for that. This was supposed to be the porn account, but then I made a couple sincere posts comments from this one and had to promote it to main account. Guess that's what happens when you think with the wrong head. Usually that goes the opposite direction. You wanted casual and instead caught the feels. Dudes there are like, I saw this 3-second 240p gif of a blonde chick with a snake tattoo getting banged by a guy with dark hair, and 5 minutes later someone has posted the name of the actress and full source video of an obscure Estonian porn film from 1993 that was only distributed on Betamax tapes for 1 week in Eastern European industrial dance clubs. TBH, I think it's beautiful how many people come together on Reddit no matter the service. I have no idea why, but I just joined that sub, thanks. I really think I did see the porn, let me see if I can find it again. Could you kindly share if you happen to find it? Asking for a friend. Yes, of course, I'll look around. See you in 9 days and 6 boxes of Kleenexes. This is great. I really hope homeboy finds this for you, lol. My friend did it by accident, yeah. I came home from work early once myself. What was in the cake that made him sick? Bukake Butter Edit. Thanks for gold, buddy. That was the name of my band in high school. Shoulder Beam Spermicidal Tendencies double gold, here I come Grammy Award. All he wanted was a Pepsi, but his mom has more in mind. INSTITUTION. I'll bet the front row wasn't desirable. People will always pay extra to be in the splash zone. A sexual gala of sorts. Sick band bro. Too much cumin. With extra nutmeg. Heavy cream. Cinnamon. You put cumin in his waffles. I've done extra work, not on porn shoots though, and I'm willing to bet the cake was a couple of days old. Edible props would be a low priority on a regular shoot, leave alone a porn shoot. Let alone. In this case, I'd think leave alone would be the right answer to cake on a porn set. Leftover cake fart cake could probably make you pretty sick. It was probably that super generic sheet cake you get from the store. Probably the same super generic sheet cake they used for the last half dozen shoots. Or some of the shoots landed on the cake. Nothing wrong with sheet cake, unless it's a prop that gets left out and unrefrigerated for half a day. Likely a high amount of sugar, I don't know, presumably he ate too much. Cocaine. Protein blast. I might be old, but WTF is a sexuality teacher. Your mom. Username checks out. Where do these people come from? They're always right there, lurking, I swear. Sex ed, I assume also including more talk about sexuality and stuff. Apparently it's pretty chill and you almost forget the naked people having sex. No, you don't. Porn sets smell absolutely terrible. Story time. I've been on a few porn sets. It's not like it's gag worthy, but the smell is very potent. It smells like a group of people just worked out after not wiping their ass for a week. I don't know, that sounds pretty gag worthy. Sounds 8 to me. Username checks out. Can confirm strawberry lube and ass sweat locker room combo. Some porn star on the last AMA or similar thread said that about how it's the smell from the set make him not able to watch porn. Believe it was cameraman tech crew. His wife wanted to watch his work and have fun, but he couldn't because the image and smell are forever linked in his mind. Is there no ventilation? Get some fresh air moving through. I can just imagine the people in the Chipotle next door going, WTF is that smell? My platoon was in a stupid training site with grossly under-equipped shower facilities, 12 showers, 500 male soldiers, that were 500 meters away from our tents. Someone had an idea of seeing who could go the longest without showering. It got bad, like the LT actually ended up directly ordering us to shower after a week or so. I know the smell and it haunts me. Proof you can't have your cake and eat it too. Challenge accepted. I'm sorry, what is a sexuality teacher? I think it's a homeschooler thing. Probably a human sexuality psychology class. I was an extra. I actually didn't know it was porn until I got there. My role was I was sitting down at a cafe when the main two characters met. You see me for like a second. I got $100 pretty easy money. Would do it again. Saw a gif earlier where the dude pulls a script out, says thought I was an extra today, but okay, and gets his DCK sucked, haha. Source, got it, https://www.reddit.com/r//people_who_have_been_have_score/extras_who_porn_art/people_underscore have_been_score porn_score shoot_code for life. https://twitter.com/Dre_Joester/status/1185660100268995585??1 That is some of the worst acting I have ever seen in a porn. I think that's a joke. Some take their porn acting critic career seriously. Read the Pornhub comments. It's not just the actors that take it seriously. There's some folks that get outraged by continuity issues in porn scenes. Just like wrestling? I just rewatched Zack and Miri make a porno and this was as bad as the acting in their porn scenes. Let us fuck. Let's duck on these beans. Memorable line from one of the first porno I watched on VHS. Baby, what's the rush? I've got things to see and people to do. Grinning face with squinting eyes and sweat drop. Probably why he was an extra. Man with light skin tone shrugging. I'm guessing you haven't seen the Beavis and Butthead porn movie, Beaver and Buttface. https://YouTube/LYB37UQTB70 closed bracket open bracket SFW? That tea is nightmare fuel. Okay, anyone over 30 reading this, clicking that link will be both the highlight and low point of your day. It's a discordant mix of the pleasure of nostalgia rammed lubeless in the ass by repulsive low-budget approximations of your memories. I laughed, I sighed, I had a lot of internet today. Tip of Mipinus would be the place to ask. I'm usually like thought I was okay today, but I'm an extra. We are all extras in someone else's life. That's a fine way to live really. It's not much, but it's honest work. A friend of mine got to be a background extra in a porno for an old porn site that was filming at his friend's coffee shop in Brooklyn after hours. It was supposed to look like the couple was ducking while disinterested customers just sat in the background. The male actor had trouble staying hard and they had to keep stopping and restarting. He said it seemed like everyone was pretty upset with the whole situation, and while they did eventually finish the scene, apparently it was bad enough that the site never even bothered to post it. Your story seems very familiar. Did you make another comment about this in the past? Look in his comments. 13 days ago he posted this in another AskReddit thread. Yeah, I noticed too. Not only that, it's the sale story. Goddammit, you guys got that story on sale? I ducking paid full price for that story. Yeah, if you look at their comment history on their profile they did 13 days ago. This sounds exactly like Zach and Miri make a porno. Except they didn't have any extras in the background. There was the drunk guy who wanted Professor Hack and drive home who came in the middle of the scene. Fun fact, he also played Dale in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Knew a girl who was an extra in one of the Dancing Bears. She said that everyone signed a waiver and the main chicks in the video that ducked the strippers were actual porn stars, but a few extras got carried away and sucked the strippers DCK. Reminds me of a video I saw of exactly that on Fact. Extra gets carried away and sucks DCK. As soon as he finishes she starts laughing, which slowly deteriorates into her crying on camera, LOL. Yeah, that video gets mentioned frequently. She's a porn star and she's crying because she got cum in her eye. That's information I believe I alone was aware of. Care to pass said information on in the form of source? Can't. It's already in her eye. Killer Queen is already in your eye. I feel that. https://www.xnxx.com/video-3tkk62/bad_time_the_bachelorette_party. In the longer video she does so much more, including, but not limited to, eating out and being eaten, getting it from several men, and blowing so many DCKS. I get this feeling she was not an extra. Edit. Here is your source. NSFW. https://www.pornhub.com/view_video.php?view clear calls ph59f287b694b. Link. Man 21 minutes long. Can we get a Sparks Notes version with a time-stamped index and colored tabs? I remember that vid. Not true. The ones that duck the strippers are not always porn stars. They could be just normal girls. I was an extra once and I was offered that ducking position for $800. No one who get carried away get to suck DCKS. They have to be tested for STDs beforehand, and they wear bracelets so the strippers know which one can suck DCKS, etc. They have to sign the contract before the scene started. We were told many times by the production side to not engage in any sexual activities if we were not given those bracelets. It's illegal if you did that, and they take that matter really seriously. The extras who just watch get paid like $150. If you flash tits, maybe $50 extra. If you suck, $500. I think Money Shot Girl where the guy came on the face got paid like $600 if you duck. Maybe $750 one KO, and there was an agent who recruits girls, 10% was deducted as a commission to him, so I got $135 that day. What made you want to be an extra? Curiosity? Number. It was strictly for money. It wasn't crazy good money but easy money from not doing any real work. Plus the odds of anyone noticing you being an extra in the background and then recognizing you later is pretty low. I actually had someone that knows me tell me he saw me in porn. He even texted me the screenshot of the scenes. I did not mind it at all since I did not engage in any sexual act or exposed myself on camera. Although he seemed to have a problem because somehow he thought I was a nun. I mean, even if I was ducking on camera, why is that his business anyway? It is okay that he is watching porn, but somehow it is not okay if someone is in it. Boy, if only he saw your Reddit. LOL. Why duck on camera when you can just sell your pee? Whoa, Wondering what balloons she sells. Pretty crazy that people will just buy used panties or pee. Like, why? Or period blood. Like, what is someone even planning on doing with that? Didn't notice until I clicked on the profile XD. This question came about because I was watching some fake amateur style porn that had a lot of people walking about in the background minding their business, and I was curious if that was a job or if they just happened to be there. Face with tears of joy. Mood. I once saw a thing that ended in a girl getting ducked in a crowded train and I couldn't stop wondering who those people were. No functional porn business is going to risk the potential legal shitstorm that could result if they published porn with uninvolved people clearly on camera. Sure, there are some gray zones, like if the shoot is inside a room and you can see the occasional oblivious passers-by outside in the distance, and camera trickery, to make the background look more involved than it actually was. That's a thing. But it's not worth the risk of having some stranger sue your company because they can be identified in your porn flick without their permission. As an aside, given all the actors out there with no money, and the people with no sex lives, I imagine it's not hard to get enough extras to fill those shots. I mean, I have a sex life, but I'd still be a porn extra if it paid well enough. But I agree with your first point. I wouldn't want to watch a porn if I didn't know everyone in the video was consenting, and it sounds like a legal nightmare to just film people ducking in front of the general and unsuspecting public. My ex repeatedly told me about this video where a girl allegedly went to a Target bathroom and got butt-caked and then just walked out of the store naked, covered in cum, with everyone in the store looking on in horror. I mean, I can understand being a cumslut just as much as the next bitch, but having to witness it while I'm just trying to mind my own business buying peanut butter and drain cleaner sounds like a hassle and a half. It was years ago that he told me this, and I'm still wondering if it was legit, and B, if anyone was arrested or sued if it wasn't an extra. But when I was a student and just starting out in photography, I lived in Miami, I met a model, Anita Duck, who asked me to photograph her. I didn't know of her at the time. It came out later in the conversation that she was a porn star. She was really nice and sweet and asked me to shoot her and a couple of her friends for her website. I was young and single, she was seriously nice and hot, so figured why not. Turned up at her house to find her and two friends nude putting on makeup in the bathroom. Her manager was there along with another girl who was filming with a video camera. After highs and introductions, I started shooting Anita's two friends who were doing a lesbian scene. During one point while one girl was doing the other with a dildo, she looked me right in the eyes and said, "It's been ages since I've had a real DCK." I then noticed that the girl with the video camera was filming me. I figured out quite quickly that they were hoping I'd join in. I stayed professional, figured that my family would be really disappointed in me, and finished the shoot, said goodbye, sent them the photos, and that was the last of my porn photographer days. Edit. Went to bed with about 10 people calling me an idiot. Not a problem. Plus my wife regularly likes to call me the same, so I felt the love. Woke to a barrage of comments. Not sure where to start. Have to get kids ready for school. Will try and comment more once I'm free. I'm disappointed in you. Sincerely, your family. That'd be the most hilarious thing to happen to him. They'll bring it up constantly during family gatherings and holidays. Hey, remember when did so many innocents didn't duck them bitches? TSK. Now pass the butter. And the nutcracker, please. Son, I am disappointed. Sincerely, me too. I'll take what is in my birthday card every year for $400, Alex. Yo, this dude straight up turned down a porn star to her face in front of 2 other naked women. I think he deserves more credit than this Reddit. He turned down being filmed having sex with a porn star. Quite a big difference there. That is a good point. Being filmed and having it distributed, no less. Very different than having someone keep it on their phone for their own later use. Man has nerves of steel. I respect that. Surely you can't just do a porn shoot without being tested for STIs first. Why did I have to scroll down so far to find this question? Pretty sure they are supposed to test, but that doesn't mean people don't cut corners, so it's possible. Looks like she's been doing porn since the early 90s too, so they were probably more lax about that kind of thing back then. https://www.imdb.com name NM020126. Depends. La porn scene requires it, but I am fairly certain it's a recent change. 5-10 years in all honesty. It depends on region of filming. Also company produce you are filming for. It has become industry standard at this point in time though. Looking back, do you regret that decision? My penis says yes, but my current life is happy and says no. Don't listen to him. He's a DCK anyway. Congratulations NS. Son, when you were 12, I told you I would always be proud of you no matter what happens and that I would always love you. This day, my boy, you have made me a liar. Honestly, I find it was a DCK move of her to try, knowing full well what being a porn actress meant. Socially, it's far from trivial. It could have affected your whole life, and she put you on the spot in a situation where it's hard to think straight. Yeah, can't help but agree here. Spontaneity is great and all, but the context matters. My brain would have been fried. Don't know how I would fare in that situation. Hope I would do the same as OP. LOL, I probably would have been like, it's been ages since you had a real DCK, you, the porn star? Bullshit, come on. Plus he didn't sound like he signed any papers. Who knows where that could have ended up. This is the industry exploits people, after all. And you thought your mom would find this? Your dad probably would have though, for sure. I read somewhere that close to 50% of open views are by women. Doesn't surprise me. Women have libidos, fantasies, etc. as well. It's just more taboo to talk about it. You think the video is findable? Not me, but this guy called Joey was an extra and he was a printer boy trying fix a copier while people having sex on it. His only line was, you know, that's bad for the paper tray. Then the guy's butt started blocking him from view. There I am, and there, and there, and there. Our unexpected friends. When I saw this thread, this is exactly what I expected. You know, that's bad for the paper tray is now my catchphrase around the office. How you doing? How dare you? As an IT guy, the paper is bad for the paper tray. Sort of an extra. An ex-roommate of mine from my college days had a Girls Gone Wild porn shoot, or something similar, at his house. College girls screwing in the middle of a house party. It was authentic in the sense that there were a bunch of college kids playing beer pong and standing around. It looked like a collegiate house party on film, but the girls were most certainly not college students. Nothing was spontaneous. Camera lights are surprisingly bright in person. My ex-roommate charged his frat brother's admission since he wasn't getting paid by the producers. He made a decent amount. I was barely visible off the edge of a couple shots. I doubt anyone could pick me out unless I specifically pointed myself out and they knew me back then. This was in the days when a lot of stuff was still filmed in SD, so the video quality was poor. It was surprisingly boring after the initial novelty wore off and I didn't stay for the whole shoot. I wasn't an extra, but actually auditioned for a porn when I was 18. After all the STD test they scheduled a live audition. I show up and meet the crew and the female actress I'm supposed to have sex with, who is super hot BTW. No, I don't remember her name. So we finally get on set and it's time to get down to business, and there are about 8 people in the room. I'm expecting most everybody to leave. I figured there would be me, her, the cameraman and maybe one other person in the room. The only problem was nobody is leaving the room. She starts by giving me a BJ, but I'm so nervous, and with all the people watching, my DCK has stage fright. They tell me to take a minute and go to the bathroom and try to get my little man to rise to the occasion. To make a long story short, I couldn't get it up in front of all the people. In my defense, I wasn't a virgin, but I wasn't super experienced either. That was a real problem with porn shoots in general in the days before Viagra. Attractiveness, and even DCK size, were all secondary to the ability to get it up in that situation. There's all sorts of chemical assistance now, though I don't know how anyone can even think about getting Tremex injections. Ouch. Once saw a short documentary about Ron Jeremy, and that was basically his talent. He could get it up and keep it that way whenever he wanted. If you hire a bunch of crew, a location, and equipment, you want to make sure your actor can perform that day. There's a reason the same dudes are in almost every scene, and some have had careers spanning 4 decades. The ability to not only get it up on command, stay that way, and pop on command will always keep you in demand, as long as you're willing, and relatively photogenic. My girlfriend shoots fetish stuff. Don't really have any stories like you are thinking of. The producers and models are all super nice people. The producer took us to Universal Studios the day after the shoot. Saw the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, so that was pretty cool. So they take porn actresses on field trips. My wife's boyfriend took us to Universal Studios. Was on the set of a porn to interview Julian Rios with a friend of mine for a message board I was a part of. It was a mansion that was rented in Malibu. We were there all day. They had a party scene but no people to represent a party, so they asked us if we wanted to be in it. I'm always down for a fun new experience, so we said yes. All we had to do was walk out the door like guests leaving a party. We weren't actors, so we didn't know anything about marks, when to stop, etc. We walked out and just kept walking. They had to come get us to redo the scene. We just laughed. The director didn't think it was a funny. They had us fill out forms. Again, knowing nothing about anything. I was happy when I got $50 check in the mail to go with my fun story, but I really should have paid more attention to the paperwork. I used my real name and I ended up in the credits and on IMDb. I like to tell people you can see the back of my head in a porn. Face with tears of joy. Watching a porn being shot isn't sexy or hot. I was embarrassed and kept looking away, but it was an experience. One of the gals was sitting on the couch reading a Harry Potter book in a see-through dress. One of the gals was sitting on the couch reading a Harry Potter book in a see-through dress. Which book, dude? The Chamber of Secrets. Not well kept secrets by the sound of it. The Philosopher's Bone. I like to tell people you can see the back of my head in a porn. I feel like this comment could be taken any number of ways. I was offered once to be an extra. The father of a friend did porn movies and needed a few students for a classroom. I had to work, so I refused. That's the whole story. What was it like having a friend whose dad did porn movies? Redditors of friends whose dads were porn directors. None of my friends were even remotely related to porn directors, but I've never even heard of porn, but OP should mark thread as serious. I worked with a guy who is closely related to Madison Ivy. That is the closest I could come to being relevant in any of these thread. Porn directors who have sons with friends who go on Reddit. Weird. He had a storage facility full of dildos and other stuff. He also sold adult toys. He wasn't a very present parent. My friend is a piece of work. I think that it really influenced him, obviously. That's the whole story. This makes me think otherwise. This reminds me of that guy who played a blind dad whose daughter got pounded by his stepson in front of him. It's funny because it's not like he's deaf too. A blind person would still know what was going on. They would also smell it with their blind person super senses. pay, who cleaned up the anchovies with the dirty toilet paper and vinegar? R word sigh out and picture. Sniff sniff, who has fish out, any why are you mixing that KD so aggressively? JFC. Honestly I was in awe of how little sense it made, still was a great fap. That was a weird one. Guess I'll contribute one. Before anyone asks, no sources available. It was for a pay site and I've long since lost the ability to access it. One of my best friends and former FWB ran a website for a low-level porn producer. She talked me into being in front of the camera, a sort of a fake cameraman who was on camera filming people have sex. I was supposed to be a husband or boyfriend or whatnot who was filming his partner ducking someone. It was fun, I guess. Got to join in on the post-shoot hot tub parties, and slept with a few of the girls when they were off duty. All in all, it was a thing I did during my wilder days. I'd think all the porn girls would be disappointed in the 3-minute average when off duty. I'd think they'd have a better time when they were off the clock. They do. Can confirm. Post-career is off duty in my book. Username checks out. Off the clock but not the duck. Smirking face. You mean they might not actually enjoy getting rammed with a huge DCK for 3 hours while under pressure for a performance? Or relieved? They may enjoy the change of pace, you don't know. Nah, they enjoy the fact that, as they get hyped, they don't have to hear someone yell cut. I were in Barcelona in 2012 with a friend. We were 18 years old then. We watched FC Barcelona, Real Madrid game, and had to go home to the hotel across the city. Little did we know that they close off the subway after games because of the almost 100,000 fans going home at the same time. We had to walk because we didn't have much cash. After walking for about 10 hours of being lost, we ended up in a ghetto, found a Finnish Rastaman who gave us his old used bong for no reason at all. We went our separate ways and immediately saw porn in the making with US in the background. They were filming and ducking so obviously. We were standing there looking so confused, holding a bong. I will pay well to see that movie. El Hocico? I can't remember the last time I saw porn with extras in it. If it's 2 chicks and a guy, the guy is extra. If it's 1 chick and a guy, the guy is an extra. What about if it's 2 guys? You're the extra. Then you're finally ready to jerk it. I was asked to be a camera operator for a porn. It was a kinky femdom style shoot. Over the course of 2 days the dom had a parade of men come in and do a scene with her. Twice during the shoot for whatever reason the man was a no-show. Each time that happened I locked the camera down on the tripod and stepped in as the sub. I'm really into femdom so it was a dream job both to shoot and act. She put me in bondage, did impact play, did some tease and denial, more impact, and finally let me orgasm. It was fun. Every time she visits my city for a porn shoot now she has a preferred cam op. Is she the one who called the guys? Cause if so did she lie to you and really just wanted you to be the actor? People no show all the time. Sounds like a great idea to do a shoot at first then they back out last minute. Most female models get paid a little for their time but guys they are a dime a dozen. If these men were getting paid I would be surprised. They probably did the shoots for a free session with a dominatrix. They may have only gotten a discounted rate for doing an hour-long shoot. Lucky guy. I'm not a bottom or switch but that sounds like a great time for you. I've lied awake some nights contemplating what the complex algorithm must be like to get a question out of new in our AskReddit. Answer: the words porn or tagging NSFW increase your odds 100%. You can have any mediocre question and just adding an NSFW tag and a slightly less generic title will bring you to the front page. Say not an extra, but I have done some background work in porn. There's a guy in our town who does small time porn shoots. So, just to call myself out as a sexual deviant, I'm into BDSM. I've been tying knots on people for almost 15 years. So, this porn guru that I'll call LL, got my number from a friend who was in one of his shoots and texts me about doing some bondage for a few of his films. LL gives me an idea of what he wants and says he'll pay me per shoot. Because YTF would I say no to that kind of easy money? So I show up, spend a couple hours tying up girls, stay on set to make sure it all works and is safe and watch a guy rail them. I've had to kind of coach his male star about where to pull to tighten, where to pull to loosen, how not to actually hurt someone, etc. The shoots lasted each about 4.5 hours, give or take. I've done this 4 times for LL now. It's really awkward. I mean really awkward. About a week ago, he started texting again asking about sex machines and suspension, and I'm not sure if I like where this is going. I'm not sure if I like where this is going. I sure do. I saw someone combine a suspension and a Sybian at a party once. It was interesting. He lowered her until she was just barely touching the machine. Moved her into different positions a couple of times, too. I like your username. How not to actually hurt someone? It's entirely possible you've saved lives. LL would probably just track down someone else to do it if you weren't available, and if he accidentally got some amateur that lied about their qualifications, things could go to shitty pretty quick. Don't hesitate about the sex machines and robes. Leap at the opportunity to get creative, and keep the talent alive. Obviously under no circumstances should the sex machine be able to move or just robes. It ends with you building Steely Dan. It was great. It was a spin-off of The Price is Right and I was the winner, so I came on down and plowed her 10/10 would recommend. I ain't gonna ask for source, but this is sparking my interest. It's called Mike Hard-On Come On Down My Tits. I want you to know I did Google this because it sounded legit and pretty funny. It did not pull up anything Price is Right related. You know your films. Doesn't sound like you were an extra then. Would have been nice if you had to guess how long it takes to nut and then the contestant closest to the predicted time wins the prize. This was years ago when I was in my 20s. My friend and I were cool with this guy that owned a karate dojo and we used to work out there with him when he wasn't teaching classes. The dojo owner said he had some video equipment, he knew some models and he wanted us to help him produce a porn. So he told us to come to the dojo at 6 o'clock that evening and we would get started. We got there around 6 o'clock and he was ready to go. He had some costumes and the place done up on the inside like an obviously fake office porn set with a casting couch. The girls came out and that's where the problem started. These weren't professional or amateur models or even women, these were literally girls, teenagers, minor teenagers. While he was discussing details with my buddy, I pulled one of the 3 girls aside and asked her age, 17, and what she was doing there. She said that dojo guy pulled up to the strip mall across from the HS and spoke to girls in the parking lot as school let out about starring in a porn for vivid entertainment. He also promised them $200 apiece. I got my friend's attention, told him what was going on, and then we both noped the duck out of there and never spoke to dojo guy again. So, you just left those girls there? You didn't call the police? I should have mentioned I told the girl that he was a lying creep and that they should leave. When we left he really couldn't proceed because he would have had no one to run the cameras and stuff. Last I heard the girls told their parents, who then called the police, and they caught him a few days later across the street from the school at the strip mall, recruiting talent. We were scared. We were both in our early 20s and mostly concerned with getting out of there ASAP before we got tied up and implicated in the pedophilia that would have went down had we stayed. Looking back, we should have called the police ourselves. Speaking from my experience in my youth, oh fuck is a pretty solid common sense breaker. It's got a 100% success rate. So because nobody has actually been an extra on a porn shoot, per the request, I'll add 2 weekends ago I walked out my front door and there was just a dude walking down the sidewalk, was throwing out my old roommate's stuff and there was a super nice fitted A's hat and I asked dude if he wanted it. Brand new and I felt weird throwing it away. He said yeah, randomly asked me if I'd ever thought about acting. Already knew where he was going but said sure, I mean why not lay it on me. He offered me a blunt and told me that he makes porn in a house close to mine and that they're going to be doing a all black chicks plus white hipster video. What do I think? Could I lay it down on camera? Told him I'm sure I could. We exchanged numbers and he told me to hit him up if I was down. Didn't say no, didn't say yes. So, I could be an extra in a porn movie soon. Edit, not a troll joke, live in South Central LA and sidewalks are very much a thing. You are blacker than my favorite vinyl album. I don't think that'd be being an extra, that sounds like being an actor. And that they're going to be doing an all black chicks plus white hipster video. I was banging all black chicks before it was cool. My friend was the sex columnist in our university's newspaper and found a dude who shot porn on the east coast of Canada. He was in town filming Naughty Newfies 2 at a strip club and needed some extras. I never saw the final product but there is a trailer out there somewhere that includes an original song about Naughty Newfies. No one banged while we were there. We were just needed for the story parts about saving an old rundown strip club. It was the day before my birthday and great fun. An experience I'll treasure forever. Comma not me but, well not an extra but, not porn but. Not but. No homo but. One could summarize half of the answers of AskReddit with not me but. Once for a week I was hired to be jack of all trades on a porn reality TV pilot. I was running camera, sound, and was an extra on many of those days. Pay was meh but can't complain. I used to be a professional makeup artist and was hired to do makeup on a porn set. First time on a movie, before then mostly weddings, proms, fancy nights out, occasional theater work. I thought this would be a good addition to my side hustle. I worked admin during the day and makeup on weekends. One task was to disguise a lead actress's pubic shaving shadow. Her pubic area smelled so bad it was unbearable. I'm assuming she had picked up some horrible diseases at some point and none of the male stars even seemed to notice. But she stank like a skunk that had been hit by a car and left to rot in the sun for the weekend. Absolutely decomposing flesh and putrefaction. I can't understand how the guys could deal with that. Goodness knows what they were picking up from her. That was the day I quit my makeup side hustle. YouTube instructional videos were making us obsolete at that time anyway. Sounds like her pH was imbalanced. Or maybe bacterial vaginosis. I don't remember where I heard this from, but when women do porn on their periods they shove makeup sponges up there to stop the bleeding and sometimes they get stuck and sometimes porn stars forget about them. Let's hope this wasn't the case. Edit. I found source. Timestamp 0.42 https://www.youtube.com/watch?v23yzwpk0gs. And, I know no one asked but I was curious where I heard it from myself. LOL. Reminds me of the lady that kept randomly orgasming through the day, and finally found out she had maggots in her PSSY. I was having such a nice day. Blowfly girl, may she rest in peace. She's not dead but her soul is maybe. My wife was an extra when we had sex the other night. I also choose this guy's dead fish. I also choose this reference. No respect, no respect. Someone paged, I was a regular on kink.com's the upper floor chats and live shows. This was back when the house slave stayed at the armory and Thwy had webcam in most rooms and a program that could read the chat out loud. So the people on the other side of the camera got to know most of the regulars. During one of the shows, I had a pretty good back and forth with one of the dons and he invited me to come to one of their parties live shows. A few weeks later, I visited San Francisco and got a great tour of the armory, met some really fun people, and went to a great party. I also went to a dim sum with them the day before and after the party and hung out around the armory to watch another taping. It was an incredibly fun weekend. That username. Not extra but used to do makeup for that industry. Several years ago when a certain pop sensation was doing a circus theme album, I worked on a feature that had the same theme. In fact, the little person fire breather that the pop star used in her music video was in the adult movie. He wasn't cleared to do anything because all actors have to be cleared by AIM as far as STD tests etc. And they got caught up in the scene and next thing you know the little person was getting a blowy. The director used like wait he isn't cleared. Funny side story, TMZ got a hold of the info that the little person that was in Big Pop Star's video was also in a porn. I got a call from my friend and they were like, turn on TV, your makeup job is on TMZ. I was new to LA so that was kinda cool. We also got nominated for Best Feature Makeup at the AVN Awards that year. I love to throw that out at parties. I used to date a guy who got fun gigs like that once in a while. The last one he told me about was a porno where he played a passed out boyfriend whose girlfriend cheats on him right next to where he's sleeping on the bed with another guy. He said he got a nice paid nap out of it. They had a college invasion to my small TTY college town. It caused a stir. When it was released there were investigations as much of a sports team was on it. They had weird contests and goofy bull on the thing. One was to have sex with the girls, you had to dress in their lingerie. I saw a co-worker of mine. We worked at a group home for disabled adults. Get dressed up in lingerie. He was not featured or shown having sex but he was on the DVD cover with two other dudes laughing while in panties and a bra. Porn actors around him. It was in TTY college housing and looked it, which is what they were going for. It was well over a decade ago. Some people lost some scholarships I think. I don't believe he had any impact on his life. He just matter of fact told me and thought it was funny. I think he ducked one of them but for whatever reason his scene wasn't in the thing. A friend of mine used to be in porn working at a studio at this gorgeous historical building. Her and I discussed me taking a tour one time and then one day she asked if I wanted to come to the studio for a dinner party. At the time I was in college and broke so was very interested in free the food. She told me to get dressed up because it was a formal gathering. I check into the building and signed some forms that I did not read. Realized later this was not a good call. Then we go into this room with a long ass dinner table and we have a seat with like 15 other people. I noticed some cameras and was really perplexed. Then all of a sudden a woman walks into the room in only shackles and panties as she serves us our food. Let me tell you, I was not prepared for what I saw that evening. What was on the menu? Not me but one of my friends was on a porno prank TV show. A mutual friend of ours asked my buddy to watch a pro football player's house while the owner was out of town for some $sign. My friend goes to check in on the house and walks upstairs and lo and behold there's a full-on orgy porno being filmed. He goes into another room and Ron Jeremy is going to town on a chick. I think shortly after the pro football player walks into all this and asks WTF is going on and my buddy's reaction is priceless. I want to see this so badly now. My husband did a year and a bit of background work. He did background for porn once or twice. He said the food for extras was better than on any TV show or movie he'd done. On big productions background generally eats after crew and talent. Sometimes not very much is left, or they are scheduled to avoid having to provide meals. Also, at one point the producer came out for what was supposed to be a plot scene, fully clothed, but instead of sending the actor out, he walked out completely naked. Everyone on set laughed and laughed. Apparently this was his standard bit. Always killed. My friend was in college wild parties too if I remember correctly. He was 21 or 22 at the time, just out of college. A buddy of his found a Craigslist ad for free beer to be extras at a taping. They got there and signed the waivers releases and learned pretty quickly it was going to be a full-on porno. It was a warehouse loft in Van Nuys. big open space with some furniture and a pool table. They did have several kegs, so there was indeed free beer, but they chained the doors shut so no one would sneak out. They filmed several scenes for the DVD, but the extras were just free to mingle about and chat around. Every now and then a sex act starts happening in one part in the room and extras would cheer and jeer them on, but it got old real quick. The one thing to do or watch besides porn was the pool table, but a couple for the shoot started to bang on top of the table and my friend said that really upset the party. Lastly, his claim to fame was my friend was waiting in line for the bathroom when the porno film team comes barging into the hallway. The lead is blowing a party goer and blocking the way. My friend gets the best line used in the whole thing when the camera pans to him for a reaction and he says, "I just want to go to the bathroom." Overall he said it was an awful experience, but they didn't deliver on their promise of free beer. 14 comments and not a single one answering your question. That's rough, buddy. Expected this. That's every thread on Reddit. Somewhat related. I got paid to jump on a fat guy's stomach while wearing a bikini for 3 songs while he filmed it. Weird time in my life. You know that's bad for the paper tray. I was sitting on a bench by the river near my place, reading a book, and a couple girls approached and asked if I would be okay with them shooting some photos while I was there. Basically, the one girl sells her nudes online and her friend is a photographer for a cut they wanted a shoot, or had requests for, I guess, where she exposes herself around a stranger. I basically said, do I have to do anything, or can I just read my book? So they proceeded to have their shoot. I got to chapter of book read, they thanked me, and moved along. My biggest regret is not asking for a link of some sort, even if they were censored, just because in hindsight it's hilarious, but at the moment I was really just interested in reading my damn book. I'll throw my hat in the ring. When I was 13 years old, my good friend's dad had a huge pool company in North Carolina. He wanted to shoot one of those cheesy pool sales videos, you know, type, family and pool bouncing a beach ball around, etc. Well, the moms are all drop dead gorgeous, trying to keep my chubby down between takes. After one of the cuts, my friend's dad told us it was time for the kids to go, and as this happens the moms had changed into the skimpiest bikinis and get back in the pool. So being a good friend, we gathered up our neighborhood crew and watched the whole thing from our other friend's treehouse. It was girl on girl. It was awesome for a minute. Then we went to play some football. As I was reading this thread, I was thinking back to this, and realized I never saw the pool ad air. But hey, made a quick $20 and had the hottest mom ever for an hour. I was an extra for a gangbang scene. Unfortunately, I never got to get in on the action because the actress tapped out after the 50th guy. You'd think I would have been able to go first since she was my wife. Also, there were no cameras. Made me LOL, you succeeded at what a few other people attempted. Should have used a serious tag, my dude. But I've got a real one for you, and I've talked about this before. A woman I know's mother is a porn caster. Has been for like 25 years. She grew up going to the sets and became a closed extra when she turned 18. Her entire love map and social etiquette are completely warped. She thinks she should have everything she wants because she is pretty. She's one of those really annoying vegans and is somehow, although I have no idea how, still a virgin at 33. Hell, princess is part of her legal name. She has no idea how to be a normal human female because she grew up essentially watching porn. She dances like a stripper and doesn't know how to deal with people telling her no. A woman I know's mother is a porncaster, still a virgin at 33, mother what JPG. The woman I know is 33 and a virgin, her mother is the porncaster. I think the confusion starts here. A woman I know's mother is a porncaster, has been for like 25 years. She grew up going to because she grew up essentially watching porn. I think they switched back to talking about the daughter. I'm tickled by the idea of a porncaster, but it should really be someone on the local news who say things like things will be vanilla until the weekend. when this gonzo orgy front moves though the tri-state area, giving way to some twink bondage just in time for the Monday morning commute. If she grew up on sets before being 18, she's been sexually abused by her mother and that's ducking disgusting. I don't think it counts as being an extra, but I was in the crowd once for Ultimate Surrender. For the unfamiliar, it's like wrestling. Women's wrestling. Except instead of trying to pin their opponent, they strip the skimpy clothing off their opponent and forcefully do things like grope them, finger them, force them to eat out, etc. The longer they molest each other the more points they would score. At the end of the match, the winner would duck the loser with a strap on. If you like wrestling and hot women ducking each other, you should look it up. There's a lot of great videos out there. I went with my best friend. They let us bring in beer and we got to sit on the edge of the mat, right by the action. No crazy story. She just got us tickets and we got to drink beer and cheer as hot women wrestle ducked each other. It was a great time. About 15 years ago, I had a friend who worked at a pawn shop. It was open 24/7 and him being the new guy would get the graveyard shift. My other buddies and I would go visit him or take him food late night after hitting the bars. One night we show up and he immediately writes down an address and tells us to go there right now. We get to a shady motel less than a mile away, and the camera guy requests it before letting us in the room. There's a girl in some trashy lingerie waiting on the bed, and one of my boys jumped right in with her. They go at it for a bit. Then the director comes over to me and says, "Why don't you go stick your DCK into her mouth?" I kinda laugh it off and decline the offer. I told them I didn't want to be on camera due to my job, so anytime the cameraman or director engage with me, they only show my etohos. I can tell ya, sex is not a spectator sport, so the side conversations with crew were about the only thing that kept me in the room. After my buddy finished up, the girl's limo driver, who happened to be a little person, came into the room for his turn, and I decided to call it a night. Years later I found out the name of the series was Midnight Prowl. I've never found the scene, but it's gotta be out there. I was new to LA. Getting a new job was slow, so I took the gig for an extras bit in the San Fernando Valley. Made a joke to myself about how it's probably a porno. Turns out it was. It was a Springer parody. They asked who wanted a speaking line. For extra pay, I volunteered. Now I'm the show us your butthole guy in some Springer porn parody on the internet. Not my proudest moment, but hey, $150 is $150 and I didn't have to show my butthole. Extras? What high budget porn are you watching? My older brother's friend was playing one of the girl's brother, who left her alone with his GF, and the two girls proceeded to have some extremely hardcore anal sex. He didn't know it was that extreme until the video had gone up and he wanted to watch his performance. He was unfortunately greeted with his fake sister pulling his fake GF sash hole inside out and pissing on it. Not an extra. I was a boom operator. I owed my director friend a favor, so he asked me to take care of the sound in his new short movie. He just didn't tell me it was porn and I had no reason to suspect that, as he filmed some other stuff before. First, we shot a scene outside where the main character was flirting with a girl. It made no sense and I thought, man, this is some bad acting. At the end of the day we went to an apartment to shoot the last scene. It was described as an erotic scene. I was still quite oblivious. My thought process during the shoot of the scene went like that. Wow, if only they were this engaged before. Great acting. Great undressing. These are some nice boobs. Oh, they're really going at it. What the hell is going on? Ooh. So that's what this project really is. After all, an interesting experience. It was like shooting a regular movie. The only different thing was the smell. Here you go. https://youtube/9hvh_I04ZRM. Back in my younger days I was hired on to be an extra in a porn shoot. $75 for 2 hours work. It was an odd kind of BBW where a huge girl was on a gynecologist table having an exam while the doctor inserted random objects into her. I ran a bit late, 25 minutes, but they were cool about it. Told me all I had to do was sit in a waiting chair and thumb through magazines while all this was going on. Never actually told me what my role was. I just assumed I was supposed to be a husband or BF. I saw the guy playing the doctor put things up inside her one by one. A ping pong ball, then small TV remote, then a flashlight. She doesn't even flinch. One of the crew whispers something to the director and he yells cut. Doesn't look happy. He walks over to me and says there was another porn actor who was supposed to be there that cancelled at the last minute and asked if they tripled my salary would I fill in for him. I agreed to $125 easy money, right? So they tell me they were going to slather my head with KY jelly and put my entire head up this big girl's bag. I wonder what I've got myself into. But true to my word, I agreed. The guy playing the doctor guides my head in slowly at first until I'm in up to my ears. Then I feel him push me from behind pretty firmly and I'm in up to my shoulders. I figured they would pull me back out, but no. Dr. Guy lifts my legs and heaves the rest of me in. I yell holy duck. Then off to the left I hear hey man. There's another dude in there with me. I say hey dude, if we can find that flashlight we can find our way back out of here. He replied if you help me find my keys we can drive out. Okay, you got me good there. Well, not an extra but a friend paid me to help him film his sex tape with his GF, and I was determined to be the best porn cameraman ever, getting all those good close-ups, and of course, I got horny, only wishing to be a part of it with no luck unfortunately, but I was allowed to beat my Johnson. I think you can see it in the camera moment a bit. That's just sad. Holy shit. LOL. I want this to go viral, I'm curious. Viral and porn don't mix well, I hear. When the Armory was here in San Francisco we went to 3 shoots, all male. The first was naked combat, wrestling, where the winning team ducked the losing team. For that we were just in the audience. The second was at a bar set in the Armory building and the third was at an actual bar on Polk Street. They had a rule that you couldn't touch any of the performers. Liability, STD tests, whatever, but for one I was recruited to help hold a guy by his arms against the bar while he got whipped and ducked. All the shoots were several hours long, and the performers spent most of the off-camera time jerking their DCKS, trying to keep them hard. We got free pizza at one shoot and we're visible in all the videos. I think we also got a free month or 2 of membership at the kink.com site. I actually work in porn in LA. I'm not going to name names, but the weirdest thing I ever saw was male porn star, whose wife was a porn star, had his wife show up to set and threaten him with divorce because she found out he was ducking other women. I know, right? Apparently, ducking other men for money is okay, and even asking permission is okay, but ducking the girl you're going to be ducking on camera, off camera between shots, is the equivalent of cheating, and it led to some insane shit. Also, Ron Jeremy cannot get a boner anymore. While it is big, he has to squeeze the base of his shaft to push the blood up. Any video of him ducking in his old age, and yes he still does, a lot.